Hello, yes, we are live. Sorry for the delay. Facebook's being mean to me. I usually cross-post this over to a couple pages, and especially my private one. So there was an event set up on that side too. So I don't know. Hopefully people will find their way over, and there's always replays. But today we are making cake in a mug, and they are infusible. You don't have to. Maybe you just want to make this for a snack with the munchies, but they are very infusible. You can do any cannabinoids you want. It doesn't have to be THC. You can try doing it with, CBD or another cannabinoid too. And I want to say we have a wonderful sponsor, an old friend and trusted place where you can get your medical cards. So please visit the Compassionate Clinics of America. And I think I pinned, if I did it correctly, I pinned their website up for us. And they're great. They can help you out and virtually as well in, Illinois, Pennsylvania, Oklahoma, and Missouri, I believe it is now. And they're trying to get on board in a lot of different states. But a lot of people, they always ask me, where can I trust? Where can I go for a medical card where they're not going to rip me off? It's not a scam. These guys are legit, okay? So you can check them out. I've worked with them for years. So, all right. And I have a guest today.
Hello.
This is Coffee. This is Coffee Head. This is Alex. This is my son, actually. And I'm excited to show him off to you, too, because he is the whole reason I am here. He is a streamer on Twitch at the Coffee Head, and he is the reason all this technology is working so that we can stream with you. So, all right, welcome. Are you ready to get started? So we are going to flip the screen over.
There we go.
We have a couple different tested recipes that we'll do today. And I let him pick his own, flavor, what he's going to do.
Yes.
And I'm going to pick my own after. So, and you're gluten-free, right?
Correct.
So,
unfortunately.
But we managed to work it out, and it bakes fine. So you're going to get to see it all. And we are going to use a microwave. And don't freak out. I've done a lot of studying on the science. It is perfectly fine to put these cannabinoids in there, and we can talk about that later. You do not want to infuse your oil in a microwave. You do not want to decarb your flour in a microwave. It's not exactly food. So we'll talk about that maybe later. I can write something up. Let's get started. So.
Okay, what am I doing?
All right. What cake did you choose?
I chose vanilla.
Vanilla. Okay. And there's lots of add-ins that you can have too.
Right.
All right. So I've got a whole bunch of choices for you on the table. I have a recipe started for you. And the first thing I'd like you to do is spray your mug with some nonstick cooking spray, okay?
Okay. That would be
Yep.
this.
You can use, whatever you have at home. Try to get the bottom and the sides of it. You can do it over the sink if you want.
Yeah. I don't want to.
Yeah. Now, most people are going to eat this in the mug, but we're going to pop it out after for you so you can see that it's actually cooked. All right. Okay, we're going to mix the dry ingredients right in the mug so you don't have to have a lot of dishes and stuff too. So you can start with 6 tablespoons. We are going to use the gluten-free flour from Walmart. Works for us very well. So
yeah,
we did...
Not horrible tasting.
Yeah.
Anybody that's gluten-free knows there's some interesting tasting stuff out there. So when I do this, am I doing heaping tablespoons or am I...
Okay, so I gave
Do you want me to use a...
Yes.
Yeah.
Get one of those out.
Yeah.
And I gave you the leveler. These are my favorite measuring spoons. They're magnetic. And it has a cool little leveler. Otherwise, you can just use a knife. But so scoop it out. Yep, and scrape it off.
We got a 1. 2. 3. 5 and 6.
Yeah, I didn't want to mess him up and start talking to him. All right, cool.
All right.
Yeah, we recently started using or trying out the King Arthur too, but Walmart works just fine, and it's so far by the pound the cheapest. But you'll need a McAdams. So, all right, the next dry ingredient you got is 3 tablespoons of sugar. Yep, that's the sugar. I poured them out for you. And you can use less. You can try using less. You can try switching out the sweetener too and use different ones. You could use coconut sugars. I've got those. I have not tried this yet. I'd love to hear if somebody else would like to. Maybe I'll get a chance.
Okay.
But this is monk fruit sweetener, and you could try this too. There's even one that's kind of like a brown sugar, and this would be like the white. And these are granulated, so they're 1-to-1 replacements.
Half a teaspoon.
And I forgot to explain, this has no egg in it, so it's wonderful, and you can easily make it vegan and dairy free. So
Baking powder.
yes,
Half a teaspoon of baking powder.
yes. I have the extra large one because I do so much baking.
All right.
And a pinch of salt. A lot of these ingredients, especially if I'm doing like the pumpkin spice or the apple spice, it's such a small amount. We're going to pinch instead of having you try to measure out an eighth. You just pinch, yep. I don't even know if it really makes a difference, but we're going to do it.
All right. We got the salt. Now we're into liquids.
Now you're going to mix that up really good.
Okay.
You can use a spoon. You can use the little baby whisk. You can use a fork. And do try to mix it as well as you can, because you've got that leavening, that baking powder in there that you want to try to get really distributed in your sugar.
It's like trying to center things in a camera is hard enough, but I don't even know my left from my right, so this is somewhere. All right. That's definitely good and mixed.
Okay. And again, we're going to save dishes by adding everything right to the mug, so you don't have to mix anything separately.
Okay, and then 3 tablespoons of milk or nut milk.
And you probably can guess what kind of milk you're going to be using.
Almond.
Yeah, we're going to use almond milk. It is unsweetened, but we do have vanilla in the fridge. So now you don't have to pour this. I put some out into a thing for you so we don't have to add the big carton, but you can just scoop it out.
Okay.
You don't have to try to pour it into a. So how much do we need?
We need 3 tablespoons.
Okay.
I don't remember. Is this side for wet, or does it not matter?
It doesn't matter. Right now you're done with your dry, so.
Okay. 1, 2, and 3. I assume, of course, mix that now.
No, you're gonna wait until
okay.
all of them get in there.
All right.
Let's do the vanilla next. We're gonna do the cannabis oil last. Okay, that and the add-ins, I call them. And we make our own vanilla extract. Whoops, sorry. So ours is in a little. It looks like a tincture bottle because basically it's an extract is a tincture, right?
Vanilla.
So that is vanilla. And if you had tincture, you could certainly throw that in. 3/4 of a teaspoon.
Oh, okay.
And there's probably not a 3/4, so you can do 3/4 3 times,
Yeah.
or you can do a 1/2 and a 1/4. I know, it's kind of weird. If you want to try to pour it out, you can, but I have a big old mason jar of vanilla extract. So
Vanilla is in.
okay. All right. Do a gentle little stir to get some of that milk off, because I found out that, so I'm going to be using coconut oil, and a lot of people make their own infused coconut oil, so that might be something you're going to be using yourself. But if you throw it in to the cold milk, it's going to solidify and you're going to have chunks. So I found out it works better to do that last and kind of throw in a little bit of that milk first. All right, I have our cannabis. Well, we're just using plain coconut oil today. But the oil is already heated, and I don't always like to heat that in the microwave and it splatters. So I used my little, I'll drag it in front so you can see on the table.
Yeah.
It's just a little mug warmer, and it's just a little baby bowl. And I melted it and warmed it up.
And I'm doing 2 tablespoons.
So you're going to do 2 tablespoons of oil. You can do that. And you're just going to scoop it out. And you can use...
Can I move it over?
You can use this plastic one.
Oh,
because it's
okay.
clean,
Yeah.
and you don't want to move it. Yes, you can pick it up, move it, whatever you want. So if you're doing this and you want it infused, you can do any combination. Just get yourself about 2 tablespoons of oil in that cup. So if you want to use 1 tablespoon of coconut oil that's infused and 1 tablespoon of just canola oil from your cupboard, or you want to use 1 tablespoon of melted canna butter and then mix it with it. The whole idea is I try to get enough fat in there so that you can really infuse it well. You can use a tincture as well, like the oil ones. You know, you might have a CBD one. You can mix them. You can do half CBD, you know, a 1-to-1 ratio. Just remember, the more of the cannabis you add, the more you're going to change the flavor of your cake. So, you know, you can mix it up, half and half, something like that too.
Okay.
So you really, really want to stir good.
Yeah.
Okay? And I gave you a little rubber scraper because when you think you've got it, there's probably more on the bottom. So you can kind of scrape it around. And then as you're mixing it though, let's stop. And what would you like to add in? So we've got sprinkles, we've got the white chocolate, marshmallows. Some of these things are more for the one I'm going to be doing with the spice cake. Like raisins and stuff. So throw in your add-ins.
Okay. So I think I'm going to do the sprinkles and white chocolate.
Okay.
So what did you figure out for that?
For the sprinkles, we decided 1 teaspoon was perfect and didn't make it a ugly mess. You can buy these little mug cakes, but the reason I like to make them homemade is there are so many artificial ingredients in a box mix. If you're going to do this, this is the perfect size. You're not going to overeat because you won't have cake left over. It's quick and easy. Maybe you're the only one in the house who likes to do infused. So it's a lot healthier. There are, I counted in this box of cake mix, just a regular one, there's over 23 ingredients and many I can't pronounce. And that's before you add the ingredients that they call, you know, that you have to pull out of the fridge. So
for the chocolate chips, just eyeball
you
it?
measure with your heart.
Okay.
That just means whatever you like. And throw them in.
Let's see what that looks like.
Okay. And then just scrape it down and we're gonna do the microwaving. All right. Looks good.
See, exciting.
All right. Your microwave is going to be different than my microwave, and we have decided for this one about 1 minute and 20 seconds was all we needed. And
What's the big button for
the table?
so we can show the microwave?
Oh, okay. So yeah, we're
Okay.
gonna hop back to the microwave. So set it in something. We put a paper towel at the bottom of the microwave just in case it were to go over. Ours doesn't. I know it doesn't, but if you're doing it the first time, you might want to prepare for that. And we have these cool microwave little holder things for cups because sometimes you're,
They work really nice.
the containers get hot. So I love those things. They have all different sizes.
Okay.
1 minute, 20 seconds.
120.
And it might look a little bit wet when you first pull it out. Ours pulls around off the edges. We'll show you kind of what it looks like. And I don't just keep cooking it and cooking. It will turn to rubber really quick. Okay, so you don't want to do that. And a lot of people worry about the heat of a microwave and the cannabinoids in there. And there's no real hot, there is no temperature. Your microwave is not like an oven. It's not setting anything to a temperature. What it's doing is taking the water molecules that are in there and it's rubbing them together, just like you would with your hands. So whatever the food and the water molecules that are in there, that's what's causing the friction, which causes the heat. So it's not that microwaves produce heat. In fact, they say that the maximum temperature that anything can reach, other than there is some type of a super boiling water, is around 212 degrees. So actually we're cooking it less than you would in a regular oven. So you're actually going to preserve because you're doing less, to that. All right, what have you got? What's it look like?
I think it looks pretty good.
Okay.
Pulled away nicely.
Kind of lumpy.
Well, I didn't make it pretty on top.
That's fine. So the hardest part about this is waiting until it's done. Till it's cool. I mean, before you could eat it. So that's not the fun part. But what we will do is pop it out for you so you can see. Okay. And it's just something you're going to have to try and play with. You might want to start, like if you have, mine's I think at least 1,000.
Do I want to get a plate to pop this out into?
Yeah.
Or
I pulled a green one out for you.
all right. So just
You're probably going to have to go around
okay.
it.
Yeah.
We want you to see what this looks like. So, all right.
Why don't I
Here,
just
you got a
use
knife. Okay, or a scraper.
Oh, yeah, no, the knife's perfect. A little butter knife is perfect for this. Yeah.
Well, under.
Oh, yeah. I'm just sliding around.
Who has made these before? I don't know how I've lived this long not knowing about this. Probably a good thing. Probably would have been eating too much cake.
Okay, now just
You can try. You may have to just pull it out. Like you're not normally going to pull this out of your mug. You're going to put your toppings right on top of it. So you're probably just going to have to push it out, pull it out with the knife right there. You got it.
see that popped out actually really nice with the spray.
Okay.
So even if you did want to pop it out, just because. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll.
You want to cut it?
I just wanted to show you. It really is. Now he's got all that candy in his, and it does have to cool.
Yeah. So it's gonna.
But yeah, it is cake, and they're pretty darn good. And this is the gluten-free. This is the gluten-free flour. Works fine. If you know your gluten-free flours, they definitely are a little bit different. So toppings, you could, while they're hot, you could put, while it was in the mug, you could throw things in there to melt. You could do little chocolate chips and they would melt a bit. Other topping ideas or even add-ins, I call them. You could do coconut milk and shredded coconut for the vanilla one. That I think that would make a really good coconut cake. There's marshmallows. I don't know. What would you do? Think of some ideas. There's so many. Frosting, it's easy if you really just wanted to make some. I mean, but whipped cream works too if you've got some whipped cream hanging around. So they are fun. Yes, they're fun. I want to do real quick. I'm going to do a pumpkin spice. If you want to stick around, you can see that one. What we're doing for that, and it takes me a while to get these recipes up and published. We've got chocolate. We've got vanilla, we have an apple spice that we've done for fall, and then a pumpkin spice. And like I said, it takes me a little while to get them all done and written up and published on the website. And the website is thecannabiscommunity.org. So you can go over there. We've got our recipes, the explore tabs. You can find out where our blogs and recipes are. You can see the recipes that we've been putting up slowly and that I've gotten done. There's gummy bears, there's infused salads, lots of tomato salads and such for the end of summer. But what I'll do is we have a Patreon if you'd like to support what we do, and we put this content out for you. And we want to try to keep it free for everybody. But if you do want to support us and what we're doing, you can go over to Patreon, and for as little as, I think we have it set up for $3 a month, you can get in there. And what I'll do is I'm going to put the printable versions always over on Patreon now, so the subscribers at any level are going to be able to just go in there and get those and print them. Some of them are already on the website now, but I think from here out I'm going to do some over there to do a little thank you for our patrons on Patreon. But what I'll do is on the public facing side, I'm going to throw up at least the vanilla cake recipe and the pumpkin cake so that you can all get that now instead of waiting for me on the website. Okay. So I will drop those links later. And and I got to say, we have the mugs for you too. We have a huge mug collection. And I don't know if anybody from our team is around to drop any links, but on the cannabiscommunity.org, we got every mug you can think of. They're beautiful cannabis ones, so you can go over there and get some of those. Try it out. Now, if you don't want to use a microwave or you don't have a microwave, you can bake them. Just make sure your mug can withstand the oven. So you might want to use something like this. These say on the bottom oven safe, so make sure you've got something, if you don't want to use the microwave. Mine say oven safe, so it's like a little Pyrex one. Another way you can infuse them, you warm that oil up like we did, and if you've got RSO from a dispensary, you can just squirt some in, and you can mix oil, butters, just get those fats in there, and you'll be happy with that. And you could probably even leave some out, but the point is we wanted enough oil and fat in here so that you had room to add your cannabinoids. I'm going to throw this pumpkin one together quick. We've been having a lot of them because we've been doing all these, all these tests. I wanted to make sure I didn't just go and steal other people's recipes. We want to make sure it works well with different kinds of oils, butters. So.
Thank you for dropping that link in there. I was just about to.
Oh, you were digging for it?
Yeah. It's like, you've all seen me before. I'm usually sitting in the other room moderating as the cannabis community. Dropping links and liking.
Oh, you know what? I'm not even reading my recipe. This one doesn't have as much flour, so I'm going to take one out. This one is the pumpkin spice, and it only needs 4 tablespoons of flour.
Would you like to read you the recipe?
You know what? I didn't even spray my mug. Oh my God, guys, I can't talk and do this, can I? Woo-hoo! All right.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
This one's going to be regular flour because I'm going to give it to my dad tonight. I can't keep eating the samples, okay? He loves pumpkin spice. He's one of them. 1, 2, 3. Now we're doing regular flour. 4.
Okay.
All right, I'm getting that out of the way.
2 tablespoons white sugar.
All right.
Sugar.
Oh. 2 tablespoons of the white. Okay. 1, wanted to make sure we're getting the right one. All right, and then
1 teaspoon baking powder.
okay, because some of like the apple has brown sugar in it too, so I couldn't remember which one this one had. All right, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. 1 teaspoon. Oh, and I didn't try the liquid first. Like you could make these. It's so nice, but if you're living alone or you just don't want to overeat.
Okay, now you need a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon.
Now you can do pumpkin pie spice, which is like all at once, one thing, or you can do them all separate. You could do 1/2 teaspoon cinnamon, and then we do a pinch of nutmeg, pinch of cloves, and a pinch of ginger. I'm gonna cheat. We're gonna use the pumpkin pie spice. Woo. All in one. And what I do is I date when I open up a spice. This is the very inexpensive Aldi's pumpkin pie spice. Spices have terpenes in them. That's why they smell so great, just like cannabis. So go through your cupboards, throw them away after a year or so, or even sooner. I mean, it's some of these, this was probably under $2. It's so nice when it's fresh. So I date it so I don't forget. It's something, maybe when you get old like me, you do that. I don't know. So we're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon, and it's got everything in there that we need. I don't know where our half went. There it is. And some of you don't have to be terribly exact. Okay. And I'm going to stir that up really good. What did I do? Oh,
don't forget your pinch of salt.
Oh, my pinch of salt. Thank you, sir. Okay. All right, do we have any pumpkin spice fans out there, or are you a hater?
Are you one of those?
Yeah, I'm not into all the crazy drinks and stuff, but if you can tell, this is why we make everything from scratch around here. I don't like artificial stuff, and the pumpkin spice, when you go out, a lot of it's really fake. So, okay, we're gonna add some of these fun wet ingredients now. I got 2 tablespoons of pure pumpkin puree. So it's just the regular pumpkin. There's no spice in it. It's not the pie one. Okay. And again, there's no eggs in any of these. So it's great if you're going to do vegan or just really easy and quick. So, or what did we say? 2 tablespoons.
Yes.
I should have measured the oil first. And then, excuse me, it would slide out.
Right, yeah. Well, you got your
Sometimes I remember to do those things. How much of a mess can I make? All right.
Usually the messier it is, the better it'll taste, so.
I need volunteers to clean the kitchen when we're done here. Or eat the cake. Come do the samples. Use the apple cider hot drink with the pumpkin spices. Ooh. That sounds good. I haven't had those in a year. I usually don't eat a lot of sugar, so this is like unusual for me. All right, 1/2 teaspoon vanilla. And you can adjust the sugar, and you can use healthier sugar. You can use sugar substitute like the monk fruit I was talking about. All right, 1/2 teaspoon of my homemade. You might be high if. Yeah, is this like your midnight snack? Because you don't have to infuse it. So if you're already lit, you could just have this. All right. I've got homemade, so it looks like a tincture. Homemade vanilla extract.
2 tablespoons of the pumpkin puree.
Somebody asking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which again, these recipes are going to go out when they get done. So keep an eye out.
But I'll put the first two up, the vanilla and the pumpkin, over on Patreon on the public facing so everybody can see it. So you don't have to wait for me to get it over up on the website because it takes a while. All right, I need 3 tablespoons of milk or any nut milk you want or anything. We're using almond milk. It just happens to be vanilla and it's unsweetened, so. And then the last thing that I'm going to add to this, other than any add-ins that I want, is going to be our infused cannabis oil. So you could use butter. You could I would melt the butter first. You don't want solid butter. If you're using coconut oil, you want to melt it. I'm using a little mug warmer, and I am mixing this first because it really made my coconut oil, the cold milk, made my coconut oil solidify a couple times, and then I had globs of oil in my cake, and that part I didn't like. All right, so this is my melted oil. I'm just doing a virgin batch. There's no cannabinoids in this one. Don't forget, you don't have to just stick to THC, okay? There's my oily one. All right, so for this one, it's 1 tablespoon is what works, okay? So we'll pour that in. You could use regular cooking oil if you are not going to be infusing. You can add something like RSO to that oil or butter that you melt. You could use butters. So we're just stirring that up. Now my father loves raisins, so this is going to be his for tonight. So we're going to throw in a bunch of raisins. He's always like, the more the better. He will drive us nuts with his raisins and his pumpkin. And if I had nuts, maybe I'd throw nuts in. Walnuts, I actually don't have any right now. I haven't stocked up on that fall stuff yet. What else would you put? What would you put in a pumpkin cake? Where's my scraper? I'm staring right at it.
Yeah, I rinsed it for you.
Thank you. Okay. I'm going to stick it in for the 1 minute and 20 seconds for this one. That's what this looks like. Just a pumpkin mess.
That one's a lot wetter than
yes, it is.
The one I did.
Very moist. And you can check these just like any other cake with a toothpick to see if it comes out clean too. Okay.
See, this one looks cool. You know.
See, yep.
Oh, okay, it deflated a little bit.
So I want to show you that, I don't know if you can see that it's a little bit shiny. That's fine, okay? It doesn't mean you don't want to keep cooking it just because you see some shiny, but it pulled away from the edges. And it's very hot. So, like I said, the hardest part is waiting for these. Yeah, we're going to leave this one in. And if you want a cool mug like mine, which mine is very old and, you know, we have hey, I got a lost raisin. Our website, we got a whole collection of mugs. No, I miss it. So for tonight, once this cools, I will be putting, we lost our thing. I'm going to be putting pumpkin spice, a whipped topping on it for my dad tonight. And I thought maybe I would drizzle a little bit of maple syrup over on top of it too. So that's what I came up with instead of frosting. So get creative, do whatever you'd like. This is actually pretty good. I went last night real quick to get us regular whipped cream. And they didn't have any, and they had this, but you know what? It was good. So
this has cooled a lot in just a little bit of time that we've been sitting here.
Yeah, if you do pop them out, they cool off quick. But most of us are going to eat it in there. Like I said, the hardest part of these is waiting for it to cool off. So, cool. Well, thank you guys. I'm so glad you joined me. Like I said, I will put up at least the pumpkin spice and vanilla cake recipes immediately over on our Patreon. The feed, everything, this whole thing will be on replay on Facebook Live. It wouldn't let us cross post like we usually do. It was also supposed to be over on Compassionate Clinics of America's page. And they're a wonderful company you can go visit. It's pinned in here. They can help you get your medical cannabis cards in Illinois, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Pennsylvania. And they're old friends of ours and very trusted. So I know I get asked a lot where to go. So, hey, it's been fun. Join our communities if you don't know about them. It's the cannabiscommunity.org. And I'll work on getting the rest of the recipes done. I've got an apple spice cake as well and a chocolate. So we'll get those up. But thank you. And we'll see you guys later. And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. He's the brains, really. So, not of the cooking, but of the technology.
No, just a little
of live
little
stream.
stuff.
All right. I'll let you put up our thank you screen, and till next time.
Bye.
We'll see you later.